Hey everybody, welcome into this week's special episode of the Top 5 from Tony's Spot on Fishing. I'm your host, Tony Krizak, and Mother Nature sure has stuck it to us again. Our plans to film out in the boat today were foiled by her once again, and ungodly stiff breezes, 30 mile an hour gusts, prevented us from doing that, and we just did not want to fish salmon anymore. We're as fed up with the Chicagoland Kings as just about everybody. But as you saw in our couple Facebook posts, we have been having a blast fishing a lot of the ponds, just catching bass on jerkbaits. And right now, we're going to bring to you the top 5 jerkbaits you should be throwing this fall. The first thing we're going to talk about is from Rapala. And actually, we're going to talk about 2 jerkbaits here, the Shadow Rap and the Shadow Rap Shad. Now, the Shadow Rap is a little bit longer, thinner diameter. Also is almost a slow sink, not really a suspend type bait, but good if you can fish a little bit deeper with it and need to keep your jerkbait down. The Shadow Rap Shad floats fairly quickly. It's a very buoyant jerkbait, shorter in size, and has a wider profile and more flash to it. Very quick rise though. So if you're in a shallow application, that is definitely the jerkbait for you. Great hard slashing action on both of these baits. The next bait we want to talk about is from Evergreen, the FA87. Now, Mike Saposi actually turned me onto this jerkbait when we were fishing the smallmouth show that we did about a year or so ago on Lake Michigan with him. And unbelievable jerkbait in such a small package, hard darting action, slow rise, good rattles, great hooks. Just an all-around awesome jerkbait, easy to throw and work all day. Definitely one to keep in your arsenal, especially for smallmouth bass. I think it's probably one of my favorite smallmouth jerkbaits on the market right now. The Lucky Craft Pointer. Man, this is probably the jerkbait that made me fall in love with jerkbait fishing for bass. The darting action these baits have, the ability to suspend in colder water, easy casting. They have great weight to them, and great flash, good solid one knocker rattle on those baits. Excellent jerkbaits, and really that is the one thing that made me fall in love with jerkbait bass fishing and start broadening into other brands and just playing around with it more and more and realizing just how great of a tool a jerkbait can be. And that is what the Lucky Craft really opened the door for me, and that's why we had to include it in this list. Next on our list of jerkbaits, we're going to again talk about 2 baits from Megabass Vision 110 and the 110 Junior. I'll tell you what, if you've ever watched an episode of Spot on Fishing and we're bass fishing in the spring or fall or talking jerkbaits, you always hear me talk about what will be our number 1. But this has really opened my eyes, and personally, on a personal level, it's hard to cross between this and what we're going to talk about next, but it is definitely one of my new very favorites. The 110 is a little bit longer in size, comes in at a 1/2 ounce. That 110 Junior, slightly smaller profile, still gives you 3 hooks, weighs 3/8 of an ounce. Great darting action on these baits. Easy to work, great for throwing, even in windy conditions. 2 great sizes. If they won't touch a big bait and you got a downsize, it's got to be the 110 Junior. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I could talk for an hour how great these baits are, but I won't do that. So here we go, number 1, of course, just because I've caught more fish on this jerkbait than anything else, the Rapala BX Minnow. It's a balsa wood bait encased in a plastic shell. It's the best of both worlds. It's like a hard bait, a wood bait mixed with a hard plastic bait. Unique flash, unique wobble, slow rise to it. Great hooking ratio on this bait as well. Absolutely phenomenal bait. Getting harder and harder to find, but they can still be found on our Amazon account. Follow the links through the video description below, and you can actually still purchase these jerkbaits. And any of the baits that we talked about in today's top 5 can be purchased through our Amazon links, and you can help support Tony's Spot on Fishing that allow us to continue to bring you great episodes each and every week. Also, we've included some rods, reels, lines, everything that we think you need to go out and fish a jerkbait this fall. Hopefully this will give everybody a good insight of what to be throwing. We have just been crushing them. It's revving up. The fall bite is here. Hopefully everyone's cashing in on this action. That's about it for this week though, folks. Once again, my name's Tony Kriesek. We'll see you next time on Tony's Spot on Fishing.